You are now listening to the Gospel of Alex. Alex, drop those scriptures.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. We got the sunset behind me, and that means it's time to cook, so we're gonna cook it up. And what I want to talk about today is how there's no romance without finance. All right, there's no romance without finance. This is why I tell the fellas all the time, you should not be broke dating. And it's also why I tell the women not to date broke men. See, we're in the era now where everybody wants to downplay the importance of finances in a relationship. But at the end of the day, when you're not just sleeping around and it's not just puppy love and you're not in like high school or college and you're really trying to formulate a serious relationship, money plays a huge factor. And it's better to understand it than to ignore it. And I'm going to explain it. This video is going to help men and it's going to help women because I'm going to really break this down from a biological and psychological perspective, how important money really is to having a happy, healthy relationship, right? And I'm going to start with the fellas. Let me tell you guys something. A woman cannot properly rest in her femininity if you aren't able to properly provide for her. Let it breathe, run it back. A woman cannot properly rest in her femininity if you are not able to properly provide for her. I hear dudes all the time. Like, I hear it in real life. I see it online, right? Dudes always say, I want my woman to be nurturing, caring, submissive, fit, friendly, the whole nine. I understand that. But you guys have to understand, are you cultivating an environment to allow her to be that? If you want your woman, for example, to be submissive and cook and clean for you, does she have the time to cook? See, when I tell my women to cook, I want them cooking with real ingredients. I don't want processed shit. I could just go and get fast food for all that. So that means she has to buy real greens, chop the real greens, buy real carrots, chop the real carrots, buy real fruit, chop the real fruit, or juice the real fruit, or blend the real fruit. You guys understand what I'm saying to you? She has to have the time to prep the meat, sear the meat, or bake the meat, fry the meat, boil the noodles, whatever the case may be. She has to have time to go through all. There's 3 levels in my apartment because I'm renting the whole house. So it's 3 levels, and that's not even including this rooftop deck. She has to have the time to go through all 3 of those levels and clean the house. So actually, technically, there's 4 levels because there's a basement and there's a garage down there. So that's a lot of work. Is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. This is assuming you don't even have kids. If you have kids and you want to be the primary caretaker of the kids too, this is a lot of work. This is basically essentially a full-time job. Having a submissive housewife type woman, guys, is a full-time job. So asking a woman, and I see this in real life all the time, asking a woman to be the main chef, the main maid, basically, okay? Take care of the kids primarily, help them with their homework, make sure they're good for all their doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and the things that a lot of times men aren't even thinking about, and be a personal porn star in the bedroom. That's a lot when she still has to work a job, because if she didn't, y'all would get evicted. If she didn't, your car would get repossessed. If she didn't, your credit cards would be taken back or eliminated because they're not being paid for. That's a lot to ask and put on to one person. That's a lot to ask to put on to one person. And the thing with the 50-50, and this is why I tell you guys all the time, I understand in this economy it's not going to be feasible for everybody to pay all of everything. But this is why I always say at least go 70-30. Because if you're going 70-30 with a woman, it's putting her in a position where she could work part-time, or she could work from home and be growing a business or something like that. But it's alleviating pressure on her financially to perform so that she has the time to allocate to do the duties that you want her to be able to do. Soon as she's got to work and pay 50% of the bills, right? You're taking her out of her femininity. And this is going to eventually cause resentment. Now, the exception to this is if this is a high value woman or a woman who's already doing what she really wants to do, right? And chances are, if she's a high value woman, she's already doing what she wants to do. Yeah, some women just went to college because they didn't think they would be married or whatever the case may be. So they went to college to get a good job so that they can live their lifestyle and take care of themselves. But most of the time you're dealing with a high earning woman, she's already doing what she wants to do, right? Whether that be being a lawyer, being a doctor, being a nurse, being an actress, own her own business, whatever it is. She's probably doing what she wants to do, right? So in that case, 50-50 isn't bad. But with any other regular woman, right? So we talking about low earning women. Chances are they're not doing what they want to do. They don't really have a passion for what they're doing. Chances are they're just scraping by, and they probably would be thrilled at the idea of having a man pay 70% or all of the bills so that they could be the traditional woman. But what happens is when a woman's just scrapping by and she's with a man who can't put her in a position to stop having to scrap by, she loses a piece of her femininity every day, guys. But you guys can say it's not fair, it's not right, it shouldn't be like that. That's how it is. She loses a piece of her femininity every single day. She becomes more bitter. She becomes more annoyed. She becomes more jaded. That's when she starts having attitudes and getting catty, not wanting to give you no V-Box, definitely not wanting to hit you with that 7-Eleven Slurpee Guac Guac 3000. She don't want to clean. She don't want to cook. That's when she starts saying we should divide the housework and all that stuff. It's because you're not cultivating her femininity. You're not putting her in a position where she can dedicate herself fully to her job and her task as a woman. She can't do that because you're not able to provide for her in a manner where she can do that comfortably and not have to worry about anything else. She's too stressed out worrying about how y'all gonna make it to next month. She can't do it. Now, on the flip side for the ladies, the reason I tell y'all not to date a man who doesn't have money isn't just because of what I was just talking about, as far as unless you're a high earning woman, it's going to take you out of your femininity. It's going to cause you to be catty. It's going to cause you to have an attitude. It's going to cause you to resent your man, which will probably eventually lead to cheating. It's definitely going to lead to arguments and fights and just overall bad situations. But because a man, right, we just talked about providing access to a woman through his masculinity and his provision and protection to allow her to be her full feminine self and be that nurturing, caring, fit, feminine woman that he wants, because she even needs time to go to the gym. Hell, a woman who's being taken care of is no excuse to be fat, because you're being taken care of. You got the time to go to the gym. You better get your fast in the gym when the kids is at school. But that's neither here nor there, right? Men, and this is the gym, ladies, men who are broke are mean as hell. I talked about this before a little bit, but I'm going to talk about it again. They are mean as hell. Men who are depressed or under the poverty line, 9 times out of 10, they probably suffering from depression. All right, they probably dealing with all types of internal issues that you don't understand. They're most likely insecure as hell. All right, and it don't matter. They might be handsome, right? So they might still be able to get some V-Box. They might have got you because they were still handsome, right? Or they had a nice body. They might even be charismatic. But eventually, just like what I said with the men, when the woman keeps having to go 50-50 because you can't relieve her of that, it's going to come back to bite you. It is going to come back to bite. It's the same thing. When you have a situation where a man can't provide, he can't have money. Listen, a part of a man's natural masculinity, biologically, what we were designed to do is to be able to provide and protect. If a man cannot take care of his woman, he cannot take care of his family, he cannot protect his family, right? He is going to be, I guess we can leave the protection out of this because this video really is just about money. The man cannot provide for his family. It's going to have residual mental effects on him. These are the guys who tend to have mood swings, like be up and down. These are the men who at the drop of the dime may or may not kick your ass, especially if y'all live together. Because he's stressed out. He's depressed. He's feeling away. And a lot of times it don't got nothing to do with you. It's the fact that he can't be all the way in his masculine frame because he can't afford to be. That's the man when you say, babe, can we go out and do something nice? And he get all pissed off. Why we always got to go and do something? Why we can't just stay in the crib? You just want to go out and have a reason to look pretty and look cute and go out and do something. You don't even really care what it is. But he's pissed because he ain't got no money. If he had money, he wouldn't care about you asking to go out. It would just be a matter of when do I have the time to do it. But he's not going to be mad about you asking to do it. He's not. Right? And I know some of you may be thinking, well, I got money, so it shouldn't matter that my man doesn't have any money. And that's a huge mistake, because I'm going to tell you something right now. The only thing worse than being a woman and dating a man who doesn't have money is being a woman who's making a lot of money and dating a man who doesn't have money. That's terrible. Unless you're like a millionaire or something. And even then, you still got to watch it. That's terrible, because eventually, just like I said, when a woman's going 50-50 with you and she's not a high earning woman, so she kind of can't really afford to do that and doesn't really want to do that, it's going to eventually lead to resentment. If you're taking care of a man and he's a real masculine man, it's going to lead towards resentment. I'm just being honest with you. The only man who's going to be okay with being taken care of by his woman is a man who's in his feminine more, that's okay. If that works for you, that's fine. But if you're looking for a masculine man and you're saying, oh, okay, baby, I got this, I'm going to take care of you, it's going to be cool at first. Just like the 50-50 is going to be cool at first for women. But if it stays that way, if he's never able to catch up to you or surpass you, and you keep having to take care of him, he's going to eventually resent you for that. Because he's not going to feel like a man. It's not going to do anything about his masculinity. It's not going to do anything about how he feels, his internal traumas and struggles. He going to feel like, damn, man, we got this whole house and she paying for it. We got one car and it's hers. Every time we go somewhere, she got to foot the bill. Everybody looking at me. Because you got to understand something, guys. And this is a gem. Financially, even if the woman's the breadwinner, it's always going to be looked at as the man. So therefore, if the woman's the breadwinner and she's primarily provided and paying for everything, everyone's going to look down on the man. Even if you as the woman don't look down on the man, his friends, his family, your friends all looking like, what the hell you got this dusty ass dude around here for? And he's going to feel that. And it's going to cause resentment. And it's going to cause depression. Right? It's going to mess with him mentally. And it's going to go downhill. I'm telling you what I know. Just like the house, right? If a woman is in charge of the house and the kids, so if you go outside, right, and the kids look a mess, or people come to your apartment or your house and the house looks a mess, or you can never host because your woman can't cook, or whatever the case may be, anything like that, that's always going to be looked at as the woman's fault. Always. And let me tell you something. If the kids are well dressed, right, and the house is put together nice and the interior design is on point, right, and y'all can host events, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that stuff, cookouts, but the man's always the one putting the house together, dressing the kids up, and cooking the food. People are going to look down on you as a woman, whether they say it or not. I'm just telling you guys what I know. His family's going to look down on you. His friends are going to look down on you. Your family and friends are going to look down on you, and eventually his family and friends are going to start putting that pressure in the air like, yo, why is she even here? What's she doing? Just like in the reverse, you might be fine, you might be happy, but your friends are going to eventually come in your ear, girl, why are you taking care of this grown-ass man? You shouldn't be doing that. What's wrong with you? You crazy. It's not going to be a good situation. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. It's not going to be a good situation. For relationships to function the way they need to function, a man needs to be able to be in his masculine frame, doing what he was designed to do, fulfilling his biological purpose, which is to provide and to protect for the people that he cares about. So if he's not in a position where he can feel like the man by doing that, it's going to eventually come back and bite the relationship. Vice versa, if a woman's not in a position where she can be that nurturing, caring, loving, submissive, friendly woman that you want her to be, that fit woman that you want her to be, if you can't put her in a position to relieve her of the stresses and pressures of work to be able to do that, right? It's going to eventually cause issues. She's going to eventually resent you for it. That's just the reality of the situation. And honestly, if you can't do that, you'll probably start to resist yourself. You'll become mean on your own, especially if you're a masculine man. Just like vice versa. Most women, even if they got money, again, they're going to look for someone to match or surpass them just because for a long time, eventually they're going to start to resent their man if they got to take care of them. It's just not going to last. Yeah, for 10% of people, it may work. Before someone says not all. Well, someone's going to say it anyway. Yeah, for 10% of people, it might work. The woman can take care of the man and everything's fine. The man and the woman could go 50-50 even though neither one of them are high earners and they're just okay with that. But the majority of the time, it ain't going to work. The majority of the time, it is not going to work. A man needs to be in his role. A woman needs to be in her role. These are the relationships that work, generally speaking. With the exception, like I said, being two high-earning people, because that's different. Both of them are fulfilling their life's goals. That's different. But in every other scenario, the man needs to be the man, the woman needs to be the woman, and for the man to feel like the man, he needs to be the provider. For the woman to rest in her femininity, she needs to be being provided for. I know what, like I said, we're in a generation, we want to change everything. We want to flip everything on its head. But if it's not broken, why fix it? And clearly this whole 50-50 thing, men and women are equal thing, we've seen marriages go down like this. Families go down like this. We're seeing the effects. It's not working. And the reason it's not working is because at the end of the day, women want to be catered to. They want to be taken care of, so that they can be what they want to be, which is nurturing, caring, submissive women. That's what they want to be. Women who got to work all the time, they're mean as hell. Just like men who are broke are mean as hell. Because a man doesn't want to be broke. He wants to have money. He wants to be that guy. He wants to be able to look out for his family and do what he want to do and make sure everything's taken care of and nobody got to worry about nothing. And go out and grind and come home and kiss his woman. And the food's already made and he knows she's going to have all the energy to all night. That's what he wants. That's what he wants. And that's why I push the message of I don't think a woman should be with a broke man. I don't. And I don't think a man should date when he's broke. That's why I always say no broke dating. No romance without finance. Right? We can pretend all day. It plays a key part. No romance without finance. You need both. Alright? Anyways, that's my thoughts on this topic for today. I am Alex and I am out. Peace.